Hi, sorry I'm late. Got caught up in traffic.
It's okay. Good evening. How are you today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So my name is Raina Miranda, and I have been asked to be your mediator today. Was finding the place okay?
Yes, thank you.
How's the weather? Good? Cold, I know.
Actually, it's not too bad for November.
All
Not
right.
complaints.
Okay, so just a little bit about me before we begin. I work for R&H Law Firm and have been there for 5 years. I received my undergraduate at North Central College in political science and then went on to receive my law degree at NYU. Is there anything else you need to know about me before we begin?
No, thank you.
All right. Is there a way each of you would like to be addressed, full name or first name?
First name's fine.
Okay, so Ricardo and Grace? Yeah. All right. I would like to recognize and congratulate you both for coming here today to talk and to explore development of your own agreements on the concerns and issues that may have been hard to discuss in the past. It is a positive indication on your part that you want to jointly take responsibility for making your own decisions. I realize that for each of you, meeting here might not necessarily be the most comfortable thing in the world, and that you may have strong feelings about the situation. It is okay to have these feelings. I will try to facilitate the discussions that will enable you to talk effectively both about your concerns and feelings as you find appropriate. There may be times when you want to explain the impact that past attitudes, behaviors, or actions have had on you and feelings related to the situation. I want to let you know that this is okay. The only suggestion I have is that you carefully consider what you want to say, focus on what you are really concerned about, and try to say it in a way that does not intentionally harm the other person or damage the relationship. During this meeting, you will be talking together and searching for or developing solutions that will satisfy each of your individual and potentially common goals, needs, and interests. My role as a mediator will be to assist you to identify issues or topics you want to talk about and help clarify each of your needs and interests that you want to be considered and ideally met. Also, I propose to help you to develop a productive process to discuss what you want to talk about, which will enable you to reach your individual and joint goals. I'll try to keep you focused and help you define a new relationship that each of you will find both more comfortable and acceptable. If you reach an agreement, we or I will write it down in the form of a memorandum of understanding. Example here.
Okay.
I do not have any authority to try to make decisions for you regarding how you should resolve your issues. In general, I will try to stay out of your discussions of specific solutions and will not provide an opinion or make any specific recommendation on what you should do. Decision making is up to you. If on occasion I have ideas or options that you might want to consider, I may raise them, but they are just that, options for you to consider and not my recommendations or my decisions. During the mediation, I will also be impartial toward the issues that you choose to discuss and the outcomes that you will reach. I do not have any preconceived biases toward any one solution toward any potential solutions over others. In simple words, I am a neutral third party. It is also important to emphasize that mediation is a voluntary process which each of you has freely chosen to participate in. If at any time you believe that it is not working out for you and it is not likely to result in an acceptable understanding or agreement, I request that we talk about it first and see how the process can be changed to better address your needs. If it is not possible to do so, you are free to end your participation in mediation. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I would briefly like to describe the process. Our talks will begin with a brief description from each of you about the situation. I request that you each listen to each other and hold your comments or questions until the other person has finished talking. During this time, I may ask some clarifying questions. It is not to put you on the spot, it is just so that I can gain a better understanding of the situation. Once you have both finished speaking, we will summarize the topics and issues and develop an agenda. Once we are clear on your needs and interests, we will search for develop some options or potential solutions. At some point in your talks, there may be a need for each of you to take time out from our meeting together and to reflect on what we have been talking about or to meet with me privately. This is called the caucus, and it gives you an opportunity to gather needed information, handle any feelings that may have been developed, and consider short-term and long-term goals and interests. What is discussed in these separate meetings will be considered by me to be confidential. I will not reveal what I have talked about with each of you unless you allow me to do so. Do you have any other questions?
No, it seems pretty straightforward and what you signed up for.
Okay. So some general guidelines that I like to put forth in my mediations are that you are to be respectful, there will be no insults, no profanity, and no interrupting one another. Are there any other guidelines you would like to add?
Nope, that's pretty much it, I think.
Okay. So are we ready to begin?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well then, Grace, since you brought the case forward, I will start with you. You may give your opening statement and just explain the situation, how you see it.
Well, Mrs. Miranda, I pretty much came here because I am tired of having all these holiday parties at my home. So there's a bunch of issues. I don't know if you want me to discuss each of those issues.
Yes, just however you see the situation.
Okay. Well, basically, I work long hours and I come home after long hours working during the week and stuff. And then my husband and family expects me to entertain them. So I'm really exhausted. The cleaning is left up to me, and I have to help coordinate the menu without the help of Mr. Herrera here. And along with the grocery shopping, on the day of the event, I get a little bit upset because, of course, Mr. Herrera gets to sleep in. And also on the day of the event, I have to get all the 4 kids ready and get them bathed, their hair done, get them all dressed, and fight about what tights or shoes they get to wear. While Mr. Herrera finally wakes up and gets ready in like 5 minutes and watches TV. During the party, he runs downstairs to, enjoy guests and have fun, while upstairs I am here trying to entertain all the remaining guests along with the kids. That eventually the kids just kind of start running around like a mad case and leave a mess and start playing hide and seek, throw out all the stuff out of the closets, and nobody tells them anything, along with leaving lovely cake crumbs between the couches. And then to top it off, the parties don't typically finish at a certain time. They actually, all the guests end up staying overnight, and it becomes a bed and breakfast where at the very next morning I'm also cooking breakfast and then cleaning up again, or actually finishing up cleaning up the mess from last night's party and continuing on to clean up the next day's party. So I really believe, we should have like a more relaxing environment for me, but I feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
All right, just give me one moment. So, what I'm hearing you say is you feel overwhelmed with having to work and plan all these holiday parties. You feel that no one else seems to allocate as much time or resources to the parties as you do, and that the parties are an upheaval to the home, and there's no careful watching of the kids in the house, and that the holidays should be relaxing, and that the parties are extended for longer than necessary. Is that all correct?
Yes.
Is there anything I left out or you would like to add?
Mr. Herrera is not helping.
Okay, so I think we can lump that into other people giving proper time and resources to planning and organizing the party.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ricardo, you may now speak.
Yes. So, I get all that, right? For some reason, you just haven't been able to come eye to eye, so just want to say we appreciate you taking the time to help us resolve this, because it's gotten out of control. We've always had parties at our house, right? It's become almost like a tradition. I come from a larger family, and we've just always got together and enjoyed the holidays. It was like that in the beginning, so I really don't understand what the big deal is now, and now all of a sudden she's, putting up a fight. Like I said, it's become kind of like tradition, and, we have the room here, we have the biggest house, so of course naturally everybody always wants to come over to our house, and, because we're more comfortable, and, we can accommodate everyone. My nieces and nephews, they get out of hand sometimes, but, kids will be kids. They're always gonna, be a little messy. It's not like, all of a sudden we got a chunk bitten out of the wall or something that, so, do they get a little out of hand? Sure, every once in a while, I get it, but, it's, I think, manageable, not to the point where it's, they're chaotic or anything. And as far as me helping, obviously I have to play host, it's my family, so I have to attend to them. If she would just make up her mind sometimes on what she wanted to do for dinner, or, what we wanted to do for the party, or how we wanted to decorate, maybe we can get the stuff earlier and just get it knocked out. And then I'm not trying to run around last minute, and, she's trying to boss me around when everybody's here to go get whatever ingredient, she's missing, or all of a sudden, I'll go get some bun cake or go get some this, and I'm like, well, we weren't planning on that, and all of a sudden she's like, well, now I want it. So of course, that just makes it all crazier. But, you know, and as far as, you know, everybody leaving early, I mean, what am I supposed to just kick everybody out? You know, it's the holidays, everybody's having fun, you know, it's safer for them to stay anyways, you know, some people just want to stay over, of course I'm not gonna just kick them out, and we have the room, and I'd rather have them, you know, sleep over and stay than not, and yes, sometimes, you know, we stay up talking, chit-chatting, having a good time, and it probably goes a little longer than expected, but, you know, we can always, I don't know, figure out a way to just kind of end it earlier if we need to. But, you know, I guess I see what, and then like with the kids, helping them out, I would love to help them. I've always helped them, but the girls always want her to fix their hair. They're always like, "Where's mommy? You know, where's, you know, have her do my hair, or have her work on my, you know, fix my clothes or whatever." It's like they don't even want me to help them out. So
While I'm doing that, you don't need to be sitting down.
There is no interrupting.
Sorry.
thank you. So, you know, those are kind of like my points, and you know, like I say, we've kind of gone like this for years, so I really don't understand what the problem is.
All right.
Or, you know, it's just haven't been able to figure it out.
All right, give me 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing you say is that the holidays are an enjoyable time for you and your family, and you value that time with your family. The family values that you were brought up with enable you to want to host the parties. Is that correct?
Yes, not so much the values, but yeah, we're a tight-knit family.
Okay. I'm also hearing that you feel there needs to be better preparation and organization for the parties, regarding like communication or last minute errands.
Yes, you know, if we could maybe, I don't know, work out the menu before or not, you know, make so many changes, you know, I think would make it less, you know, chaotic for her, and as she puts it, you know, she's out doing work when she could be enjoying the party.
Okay, so then you also feel your house best accommodates the family's needs, and as far as the for the not helping, you feel that there needs to be more, I guess, rules for or task delegation for everyone.
Yes, because I feel I am helping, maybe not just in the things she's pointing out, but, you know, I'm obviously helping because the guests don't just come in and all of a sudden host themselves.
So again, just better communication between the two of you.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add, or anything that did I say everything correctly?
No, yeah, I think we got everything I put it up.
Okay. So now that we've identified like the core interests and needs of both parties, we're gonna set an agenda. So since you went first with the opening statement, I'm going to let you pick the first item on the agenda.
Okay.
And you both have to agree, and then you also both have to agree on the order in which we talk about these things. So what would be,
Okay.
what's the first item that you would like on the agenda?
I guess I would say the fact that, you know, where else are we gonna have the party if not here, since we have, you know, the largest house and more room for everybody. So I would say the location or place of the events. I don't know how you wanna word that.
Okay. Yeah, I think location.
No, so if she doesn't wanna have it here, then where were we supposed to have it?
Okay, that's definitely a thing we can discuss. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to put on the agenda?
I guess I would like more helping with cleaning before a party and after a party.
Okay, so preparation and delegation of tasks. Okay. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay. Alright, what else would you like to talk about?
How am I supposed to help out with the girls, the kids, if they don't, you know, if they're just asking for her to help out or get them ready anyway, so. I don't know what she expects me to do there, to force them to fix their hair.
Okay, so maybe family guidelines and
Yes,
okay.
that's a good way of putting it.
Alright, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Alright. Grace, you may continue.
Sleepovers. No more sleepovers, please.
Alright, so time management of parties?
Yes. I think that sounds right.
Are
When am I
you,
supposed to kick everybody out?
well, that's something we can discuss when we get to that issue, but are you
Fine.
okay with that being on the
Yes,
agenda?
so I'm more than okay, yes.
Okay. It is now your turn to pick an item.
I had it and now I lost it. You know, if we could figure out what it is that she wants to make or prepare so that we can, you know, maybe get all the things that we need prior to the party and we're not running around like chickens with our head cut off the day of.
Okay,
Because I'm left to coordinate.
You know, if she would just change her mind all the time and just stick to something.
okay, let's
she'd really-
remember the guidelines, no interrupting, be respectful,
Okay.
okay.
So that I believe I was talking. Thank you very much. So just
So,
preparation planning.
okay, so maybe that can, so like just organization, maybe that can just go under the second item of preparation and delegation of tasks.
Yes, I guess that falls under the
Okay,
same thing.
I will just write organization right here. Alright, and Grace, any others?
All your nieces and nephews running around and making a mess.
Kids, what do you want me to do?
Alright,
Being
so
disrespectful to the house.
They're not
You're
disrespectful.
interrupting me.
Sorry.
supervision of the party in general, okay.
Want to hire security guards?
Is that alright with you to discuss?
Yes, that is all right with me.
Okay.
Thank you. You know any kid cops by any chance?
Alright. Any other items you would like to add on the agenda?
No, I guess that everything kind of falls into, you know, everything we've already talked about. So, I mean, we'll always have the party here. It's like a tradition. So, you know, it would be like, not. I don't want to just cancel and have everybody now change where, you know, everyone's used to coming and having a good time. So, I don't know how you would word that at the time.
So maybe just, like, following precedent, sticking to what's been done before.
Yeah. What? Just all of a sudden, why is that a problem now? Yes. Thank you.
Because now we have more kids.
Well, you wanted kids, so
Alright. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I'm sure she does.
More help with the coordinating of the menu.
Said that already.
Oh, I guess that's what the family organization.
I think that we
Okay.
can lump that into preparation, delegation, organization.
I think. Did we cover more help during the day of the events?
I think we can, okay, so I can just make a side note under delegation to focus on the day of the event specifically. Is that alright with you?
Yes, that's all right with me.
Okay.
I think that covers just about everything.
Anything else for you?
No, thank you. That's everything I need.
Alright, well, there were a lot of emotions coming up when setting this agenda, so I think now would be a good time for a caucus.
Yes.
Ricardo, I will escort you out first.
Good.
And then,
'Cause I just can't stand being in front of her right now.
Feelings mutual.
Alright, Grace, how are you feeling after all of that?
I'm actually a little bit upset because I just can't believe that he feels that nothing should change and everything should stay the same, even though now I'm working longer hours. I have more guests because now the nieces and nephews have multiplied. And again, I'm just left to create this party and do the menu, do everything else without much of his help and much of his family's help. And they just come and enjoy the party and then leave the mess, and then I'm back to cleaning and cooking the next day, and just a continuous cycle. And then the parties, they start like in August and don't finish till January with all the, I have my daughter's birthday, then it comes with that, Halloween, and then after that it's Thanksgiving, and then after that, Christmas, and then, oh, wait, we do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so it's 2 days in a row, and then after that, it's followed by New Year's. And meanwhile, I'm working and trying to do everything else, so
Alright, so,
just a little frustrated right now.
alright. So, what I'm hearing you say is you feel that there's no recognition for all the work that you do with the parties or just in general. All the preparation that goes into these parties, you feel no one takes into consideration. Is that correct?
Yes.
Alright. So right now, it seems that the two of you are just polar opposites on these issues. So I think it would be beneficial if just the two of us went down each of these things on the agenda, so I can get a sense of what you're looking for, and then maybe we can see some common ground that we can bring back to the group.
Okay.
So, as far as the location, I mean, do you want no holidays here, or do you want some holidays here?
I guess I can't say I want any holidays because I do want my kids to remember some days here with the family at their own house. They do enjoy being here and having their toys and play with their cousins, and I get it, but we can't have every single party here. It's exhausting.
Okay, so I think that relates to what Ricardo had said about it being a family tradition. I think that the both of you are just very concerned about making it enjoyable for the family. You said you want your kids to have good memories. He also wants his family to have good memories. So I think would you say that that's a point where you both agree on?
Yes, if he doesn't have overnight sleepovers
Okay.
and helps me clean the next day.
So you would be willing to have the parties here if Ricardo helps more and if there were less sleepovers.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
But he hasn't done that in years, so I doubt he'll even agree to any of that.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're trying to reach a mutual solution. So that's a nice segue into the second item on the agenda, which is preparation and delegation of tasks. So what exactly are you looking for in terms of help from him?
So I usually have to touch base with his whole family and see who wants what at the events. Obviously, there's different traditions from both sides of the family, and all the nieces and nephews, what they like to eat, allergies, etc. So I usually have to kind of coordinate menus with his entire family. Well, he has no clue what's going on till the last day or the night before. Meanwhile, I'm doing grocery shopping, preparations, getting all the tableware, whatever we need, decorations, and whatnot. So
Okay, so what I think I'm hearing you say is you want more communication between him and his family. Maybe him taking a little bit more responsibility or initiative
yes,
with these things.
to help out. Yeah,
Okay.
this is his family, and he wants to have them have a good time, and I'm doing all the work. So
Alright. So as long as he promises to, in some sort of way, communicate with his family more, you would be willing to have holiday parties here?
yes,
Okay.
I think so.
So Ricardo had also mentioned, he helps out in ways that he thinks are beneficial, but they're not necessarily, or he feels that they're not necessarily, they don't coincide with what you want from him. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, him sleeping in and not helping out with the kids do not help me at all.
Okay. So maybe an earlier wake up time and again just setting those family guidelines, maybe communicating with your daughters is better as well to get the whole family on the same page.
Right.
So how do you think you could instill that or execute that on the day of the parties or even beforehand?
Well, let's see. How can I do that? Well, I guess like you said, set a time, a wake up time at least, so that I know I'm going to be helped at a decent time, not 5 minutes before guests come, or wonder what time he's gonna wake up to help me. And the second thing with the kids, I think possibly maybe we can coordinate a couple days in advance what they're gonna wear. I don't know.
Okay.
They do get fussy on what they like. If they don't like jeans and other things, and I have to sometimes fight on what they're wearing. But
So what I'm hearing you say is maybe that's a separate issue that you both may need to focus on with your daughters. Okay, so I think that, would you say that that ties into family guidelines and maybe that's a possible solution you would be willing to bring up?
yeah, we can probably prepare in advance their outfits and coordinate.
Okay. So again, as long as all of these things are met, you'd be willing to host parties.
Some parties.
Some? Okay, so you're still,
I can't do all.
okay, so are you like all throughout the year or just holidays?
That's a good question. Let's focus on the holidays because that's my main concern. Just because it's from August through January,
Okay.
actually through February, because my daughter's birthday's on February, so it kind of goes in. It runs all the way from August to February.
Okay, so within those months, which events or which holidays or like how many parties total would you be willing to host?
Let's say 2.
2? Okay. So wait. Sorry, August to February. And you're not willing to negotiate on that number? Like what's the highest amount of parties you'd be willing to?
Not right now because I'm really upset. He's just not helping, and I don't know if this will even work.
Okay.
But that's why we're hoping you can help us.
So the next item on the agenda would be time management of parties. Again, just reiterate what your issue is with that.
Basically the sleepovers, I know that number one, the parties last till pretty late. People are wondering why I'm exhausted at like midnight when I should still be happy and hosting, but by then I'm like, everybody get out, but a lot of people end up sleeping over. And then the next morning I'm miserably trying to entertain like once again and do breakfast and the rest of the cleanup. So my entire house gets destroyed, and then I have to, from everybody sleeping over, we have blankets everywhere and stuff, and it's just a mess.
Okay.
It
So
goes on too long.
alright. So I think what I'm hearing you say is kind of like the same thing as before. You would just rather have more communication between Ricardo and his family, setting like rules for the house to be followed, and making sure that adults and kids alike follow those rules to help make the parties more relaxable and enjoyable for all.
Yes, that's exactly what I,
Okay.
it's a great way to put it. Thank you.
What would some of these rules and guidelines be that you would like Ricardo to share with his family?
Maybe party needs to end by 2 in the morning. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's a start. It's like a set concrete thing. One of your concerns was the mess of the house. What do you think you could put in place, or what could you say?
He needs to talk to his family and tell them that they need to keep an eye on the kids and respect the house.
All right, so supervision of parties. So I think we kind of lumped these two items on the agenda together: the time management of the party and the supervision of the party. So just to summarize that, you would be willing to host 2 parties between August and February because that's their busiest time for the family. You think there needs to be more communication with Ricardo and his family regarding house rules, how to supervise what they're doing and their children to make the holidays enjoyable for all, not just his family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so far, you would want the parties to end at 2 so as to avoid extended stays.
Correct.
All right. So the last item on the agenda is following precedent, which I think goes into the location before. So Ricardo's argument is that you've always had parties here, but he hasn't heard any concerns from you before. Can I ask why you think he feels that way?
Probably because I haven't complained as much as now, but it's because I'm just working longer hours and there's a bigger family now to entertain. So like I said, his nieces and nephews have like multiplied now, so it's a bigger parties and I'm working longer hours as well, so that's the concern.
So maybe there needs to be, what I think you're saying is there needs to be more communication between you and Ricardo. Maybe you expressing these things to him more often. Is
Yep.
that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't told him much about this. I just keep getting upset.
Okay. Well, that's definitely one of the reasons why mediation is helpful, to get all these issues out and resolve them. So, would you be willing to make, how do you think you could resolve that issue? What would you be happy with as far as being, him taking into consideration your long hours and all the work that goes into these parties?
I guess if I just had more help, I think overall it's just more help, more coordinating with the rest of the family as well. Just kind of what we reiterating the steps that you said or that we've come up with. Just keeping a little bit more set guidelines and rules, and since the family has grown, a little more participation from others. So
Okay. So yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say is your core issue is just you want more assistance with these parties, and if you got that assistance, you'd be more willing to
Yep.
host these parties.
yes,
All right.
exactly.
Is there anything that we talked about that you don't want me to mention as a group?
Could you not mention the 2 a.m. yet?
Sure.
I want to see what his concept of what time the party should end.
Okay. Is that the only thing you're uncomfortable with me bringing up?
Let's think about this. No, I think that's about it.
Okay. Then I will end our caucus and I will bring Ricardo back in.
Okay.
All right. So let's break you up.
Thank you.